That being said, let's get into the next match with Shogun and Leaf. Take it away, guys.
Welcome down to the field. As I said, me and Shogun and I, that's the proper way, are going to get this match casted, and it's going to be a blast because, as I said, this team has a test. They're trying to get these top 2 spots.
Yeah, Gale Force really needs to bounce back at this point in time. They've just suffered what is going to be a demoralizing loss. I know none of those players like losing to Flipside. It's one of those, oh, okay, that's our rivals right there. And you don't want to play against a team that is still peeved about losing to their rivals. And I honestly feel like for Gale Force, this is very much more of a match that suits their play style. Flipside is too fast. We know that. But for a fact that a lot Metsunaris and Magnus, they are a lot slower with the way they go about things. They're more methodical, which will suit the way Gale Force plays, because that's the way they play. And they do that, as far as we've seen, better than any other team.
Well, as we get underway, game number 1, Resonant versus Gale Force Esports, GFE. I'm glad you brought that up, much easier way to say that.
I didn't bring it up, I got shouted out on Twitter for it.
Well, whoever is helping us out, thank you. We'll see who can take it. GFE just came off of a loss.
I feel like I've just set a bad precedent. Or if you shout at me on Twitter, I will change. I will never change.
Everybody.
Not for you,
yell.
Internet.
See if Resonant can come in here cold. Gale Force has a warm-up game there. Unfortunately, a loss. See if they can keep their mentality strong as they drop down to this field. Shazette and Pashy almost getting a play started. There's a lot. That's a player I want to watch out. We talk about consistency, and that's one that sometimes hasn't had the best consistency on the field, but when he's on, his team is on. Metsunaris with a play off the backboard, a lot there to drop it in. He's ready to get a goal started off. Magnus can't keep that play alive. Panda on Shazette trying to bring it out, leaves Pashy alone in net though. A lot there to Magnus. That's going to go the wrong way. A little bit of a breather there for GFE as they have that ball head to midfield, but they don't take control of it, and that's going to be a chance for Magnus off the backboard. No one there to help him out. A miss there from a lot. Pashy. Nice control there, trying to get that drift round. I've seen that before, but can't get it past Magnus. Don't have him fooled. That pass from a lot will go a little bit too far there. Shazette trying to control, but we see GFE having difficulty making anything really come out on offense.
Yeah, GFE are very much a team that requires themselves to be played from the back, but a mistake will always cost you.
Magnus, there it is. Just a lofter over to the top to the far side, and no defender. They're just flying by. Whoops.
Was that bump on that one?
I couldn't really see. All I saw was players flying across the screen.
Yo, that might be because there was a bump.
You might actually be right, but I can't confirm that.
I really want that to be a bump right there.
A minute and a half into this, and Resonant finds himself up into the lead. Gale Force needs to answer this quick if they want to feel like they're still in this. Just, again, coming off of a loss, and any extra goals that Resonant can get on them here will start to build up. You feel that. Just start to create pressure. And for their mentality's sake, they need to get one now. Touch out to Pashy from Panda will be a little bit too far out of his reach, and a lot will take that one into his hands. Metz will be out of the play as a lot, and Magnus try to get that one away from the backboard. Shazette keeping the pressure on. His teammates backing off. Noticing a lot will take control, try to turn that one around for a counterattack. 2.5 minutes left in game number 1. Only 1 goal scored so far. Resonant Esports is going to take credit for that one. Pashy might be able to answer this. No second touch for him. He backs off for his Shazette, and Shazette does get blocked out by Magnus, who does end up getting a clear as well. Panda with a 50-50 into the box. Patience from Magnus might not be enough though. Off the crossbar, off the goal line, and Shazette will finish that one off for an answer.
I think he hit that one a bit too well the first time around. It was too perfect to go into the back of the net. But look at that pass right there from Violent Panda. That was sublime. Pulling it all the way out, no defender could come towards him. No one can get a challenge on that. And when you follow up a pass like that with a shot like that, you are going to be very happy with your result.
1-1 tied up now, 2 minutes left. We'll see if a lot can get another one for their team. Almost off the roof there. Not really much they can do with it. So his teammates do back off. Some pressure, a demo. Magnus turns around immediately knowing that might be a chance, but backs off. Smart play from him. Realizing the opponents would have possession before he could get there. Pashy Panda up the field together, stopped out by Metz. A lot of good 50-50s coming out for Resonant, allowing them to stay on offense. A lot more than I think GFE is liking at this moment.
Yeah, this game is really turning into pretty much a carbon copy of GFE's series against Flipside. They will not want that right now because they were caught in their own end for the majority of that series, and they ended up losing it. And right now it's happening yet again. They need to get themselves onto the counter-attack. They are so deadly when they get passing players up downfield, but this could be a dangerous hit. Motsunaris gets saved, double save there from Chaussette.
Yeah, he almost got that dunk on him, but Chaussette does get that push through. And Pashy jumps for that and gets bodied out of the way. A lot turns around with a backboard or sideboard pass. Mets ready for another shot. Look at the pressure right now coming out from Resonant. Not able to put one in the net though, as GFE's defense does hold off. And there you see it, that final minute remaining. Game number 1, already a pretty even contest going on in this game though. There's Chaussette. That's going to be an easy shot for him, but amazing pressure there, quick turnaround, and now they find themselves in the lead.
And who was with the pass yet again? Violent Panda. He did it from the right side. This time he does it from the left side. Just so good at pulling out defenders and pushing it towards his teammate.
51 seconds left. 2 goals now for GFE, only 1 for Resonant. No, 3 goals now for GFE. Turn that one around quick. 44 seconds left. That's a quick pileup of goals.
Yeah, a lot. Huge mistake there. Thought he could go for it and just could not get there. Metsanaris has to watch that one go over the top of his head. Let's talk about Violent Panda very quickly, shall we? Violent Panda,
he's cool.
Because last season they had Devo on their team, and Violent Panda was kind of considered like the 3rd player on this team, the player that maybe couldn't hang. But this season, with Devo out of the running, and that could be a shot there, but played up to the side, Violent Panda has stepped up in the biggest way. He is all over the pitch, and his stats really speak for it.
Yeah, oh, you're right, and that speaks to his character, being able to adapt to what your team needs. Okay, you don't have that role filled anymore. I need to step up and take responsibility for this. Great team dynamic they have here, and again, it shows really well for Pashy's leadership. How he's able to put together a team that knows how to adapt like that, but 2 goals up, that might be 3 goals up now. 6 seconds left, just kind of finalizing this one. I think at that point, Resident didn't have a chance to come back, but feels good for Gale Forest going into this next game.
Yeah, and this has to scare you very slightly if you're Resonant, because that is another mistake. The biggest mistake you can do possible, trying to have an argument with that post. We've seen now 10 players try and do it over the course of this season. I believe the post is 10-0, 10 KOs.
Hey man, that post is OP.
It is.
Please nerf Psionics. Please nerf.
It is legitimately not going to move, but it's one of those cases of you're looking at the ball, you don't really know where that post is, so you end up jumping into it. But right now, if you're Gale Force, that was the perfect way of responding to that loss to Flipside.
No, absolutely, and it looked rough at the beginning. It looked like Resonant might be able to keep this at a super close game, and might even be able to walk away with a win, but that quick adaptation, you know, as you said, Panda there was just like, okay, we need to step it up in this game. Let's not wait to the next. And they did exactly that. They end up pulling through with a fairly convincing win. At the end, I think we were fairly confident that they were going to take that one with no comeback from Resonant. But we need to talk about Resonant, though. How are they going to be able to come back from this? Because Gale Force is ready to go.
Cut the mistakes. Legitimately, the whiffs are really costing them right now. They were doing really well, and as soon as they went 2-1 down, the mistakes started coming out a lot. Missed the aerial, gave the ball straight up. Then there was another one where they just hit, they hit into the wall for that 4th goal. It's a case of maybe Gale for some more war. Maybe Resonant are not coming into this feeling at their best. I think Resonant needs to take a win very quickly because they might get 3-0 swept before they even have an opportunity to start to get rid of these potential mistakes.
Well, that's not something I'm sure they're looking for here. But again, a lot of it for me, well, is specifically that, a lot. And I know he can do incredible things. We've seen him take shots from places you don't think shots can be taken from. And as long as they can utilize that, I think they'll be fine. And
a lot is one of the longest standing players in competitive league play. He has been around since the Pro League, which was almost a year ago at this point, almost a year and a half ago at this point. He has been a mainstay of the competitive scene, and he's proved it with this team, which we thought a lot was pretty much done for the competitive scene, but then he put together this squad, and this is a squad that has done so well.
Game number 2 now, Resonant Esports versus GFE. GFE just coming off a loss against Flipside Tactics, but they're looking to change that with their 2nd series here, up 1 point in this best of 5. Resonant losing 4-1 in that first match there, sorry. So if they can pull this one back, make the adjustments they need, they have the upper hand, they know what GFE is capable of. See if they can turn this around. As they do get control, and they are on offense, can they get a goal out of it? No, great clear there from Panda. Will send them flying back down into that blue end. Resident having difficulty creating any plays, but that might be one a steal.
Oh,
wait, Mets, can you do it? That would have been so terrible for him if that didn't hit that crossbar.
Yeah, you see him coming here. He's so brave on this one. He has to try and get that one through. He managed to avoid the challenge of Chaussette. And could you imagine? That roll could have been so much more evil than it actually was. That could have gone really high above the goal and not come back down until a defender came back. So he'll be breathing a sigh of relief on that one. And that's a good response there from Resonant.
As you said, brave, but with brave also comes risk. He was the last defender back. Sometimes that's what you need to do, though. I'm sure we'll see that coming a little bit more from Resonant. It worked once, why not try it again? A couple chances here now off that kickoff for Resonant. Two nice power shots. They were stopped out by the defenders of GFE. Magnus, no 50-50 on that one. It'll be Mets up to try instead, but a clear comes out for Panda once again. They lose possession. Chaussette out of the play. Finally, Pashy is going to step in, take control of the situation. Panda last defender. Chaussette works his way back, potentially out of boost there. Has to be careful, though. He has lots there. Did get it, but not enough, as a lot's going to be able to squeak through and get a shot on net, putting themselves up 2-0.
Yeah, Chaussette tried to put that one into the corner, but he did not get the contact he wanted. And yet again, this team, GFE, has conceded whilst they're trying to rotate back towards their own net. They cannot afford to underestimate the shooting prowess on this Resonant side.
3 minutes left now. Resonant sits up 2-0. Can they hold it off? Gale Force got 4 goals last time. If they do that this time, they will walk away with a win. Pashy trying for that cheeky redirect. Chaussette in the right spot for that bounce off the wall. Just perfect positioning at the right time.
Yes, certainly was. Here's where you go for this sort of stuff, pulling out players, and Chaussette positioning does not get much better than that. Right where he needs to be. The shot comes in unsavable.
Now that's only a 1-goal hill to climb for GFE. Kickoffs can result in goals. We'll see if they take control of that situation. Panda trying out for a back pass. Chaussette out of the play a lot. Might be able to take advantage of this. There's Magnus off the backboard. A soft drop down to nobody, though. Pashy clears that to midfield. There's Panda with a good read off his teammate's pass. Pass one, a flick on the net just off the crossbar. Almost a beautiful turnaround and counterattack.
I was about to say, Resonant did really smart to rotate 2 players back on that one. Ended up being absolutely crucial because Violent Panda was going to take everyone on, and then maybe the entire world after that.
They almost brought that to a tie, but they'll have to try again as they do find themselves back down in their own end. 2.5 minutes left in game number 2. GFE taking that first game. Trailing behind a little bit on Resonant. Might bring this into a guaranteed game 4 if they can't get another goal.
Oh, they've sent a lot to that one.
Yeah, a lot of physical play there, and that might be it for Resonant. If a lot can't get the right touch, he does. Good touch over to Magnus as they try to clear that and buy themselves time to get some boost. And that's a shot for Chaussette.
Oh!
What a stop for Mets.
Metzenaris just flings himself across the front of the net, and what a save that was. Keeps his team in the lead, but they are not out of danger yet.
Pashy, we've seen him do this before. That's scary. When he gets up and he has full control and time to do whatever he wants with that ball. Fortunately for him, it does get stopped out. Panda can't squeeze that one past Magnus. So Pashy will get a pass out. Chaussette just a miss on that touch. Slightly short, longer car like a Dominus would have got it, but the Octane just couldn't get the nose on it.
Magnus, what are you doing? Please, Magnus, don't do that.
Rip.
Okay, so Magnus turns himself around in probably the most awkward way possible. And Pashy's just going to look at it and just go, okay, I'm going to take a shot to your bottom corner right now. And yeah, that evens this game up.
Well, you're right, evens it up with 1:20 left. A lot better than going into that final minute with a goal down. You know, one of the things you have to do is take a lot of people off defense, put them onto offense. Makes it a little bit riskier. This is a nice, comfortable spot to be for a GFE. Can they make this turnaround? Looks like they might be able to if Resonant keeps making mistakes like that. Magnus just needs one good pass or shot on net. Pass lofts up to Panda instead. A lot. Magnus moving this one forward. Getting that double touch to off of each other to get a lot of power on it. Mets might take advantage of this one. Rough touch from Shazette and gives away a pass. Not what you need to be doing in that final minute.
Take a look right here at the positioning on this team. Everyone is stuck around here. They cover the positions that they know that if the ball ends up here, if the opposing team does not get a long clearance, we will take advantage of immediately. And why not do that? You've got a player on that third rotation. You've got a player that is covering the defense. So put yourself in the best position possible.
You're right. Punishment at this point. We saw a couple missed ones earlier in that flip side match, but at this level, if you give any kind of mistake or chance for your opponents to punish, they will likely punish and punish hard, resulting in a goal. 20 seconds left. GFE needs to be able to bring this one back. One goal unanswered for them. Otherwise, they will give away a point in the series. All that Resonant needs to do is just hold off for 10 more seconds and not commit too hard to offense here. You see, they do have one person just sitting back, waiting, not taking anything risky. Just keep the pressure on at midfield, not allow that ball to get down your own end. And that's how you take a win, but this could be a chance as Pashy. We know these guys can keep the ball in the air. That was close. That was scary for Resonant.
Oh, Resonant.
I mean, how long did they keep it up? It was against Flipside. How long did they keep that ball up there?
I think it was around 40 seconds. I've seen a clip of it, and even the clip of it,
ends
was
before
still going. Yeah, it ended as it touched the floor, but we didn't have we missed a couple of shots on it. So yeah, that one was a ridiculously long 0-second rule.
Yeah.
That one wasn't, but that was much better there from Resonant. Moving forward a lot more, showing us exactly what they can do, showing off that shooting prowess and why you cannot afford to make mistakes against them. Let's set this up for you here. This is how stacked EU currently is. Resonant are trailing and trying to chase for that top 6 position to get themselves into playoffs. Gale Force need to win this to tie up the top of the league with Flipside Tactics and Leftovers, and yet they are this close to one another.
No, that's actually a really good way to put that into perspective. It's nuts that a bottom team can compete with a top team like this in the leaderboards and bring it, just take a win off them, and looking pretty good when they were doing it. I mean, a couple of mistakes obviously resulted in some goals, but if those are tightened up, small, simple mistakes is all it takes for a goal to happen. If you can tighten those up, you might have a win here. And then we just mess the leaderboards up even more.
Yeah, and let's not pretend that we didn't see this happen. We saw this happen yesterday. For ladies and gentlemen, if you missed yesterday's broadcast, I cannot recommend going back to watch the VOD enough. Take 3 in Genesis came up huge. It was the revenge of the mid-table, and we could see Resonant try the hardest to achieve the exact same result.
Ooh, an early shot from Magnus. What a stop, might not be enough. Mets tries to get another one, and Panda just forces his way in the way there. He'll be out of the play because of that. No, bad touch from Shazette. We've seen a couple mistakes from him, and that might be a goal. It is Mets. 2 goals now in a row from that game to this one. Shazette has gotten not the best touches off that backboard.
Yeah, and this is a case of showing that problems create more problems. Pashy trying to take that ball away from the oncoming Magnus means he passes it straight on to Metanaris, who also comes in. That is one of the big things about Rocket League. It is a domino effect.
Shazette. I'll be worried about his touches now, but he needs to keep the confidence. 30 seconds in, Resonant finds himself in the lead, but as we've seen in those past matches, Gale Force can quickly turn this around. Magnus, no read for him off that touch from Panda. Mets will be forced in the air.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
Touch, what a touch from Magnus. Almost squeaking by the defender. Pashy will be able to keep that one out. Very close to getting a second goal in that first minute.
I mean, that was almost a belly doink. And that is the rarest thing in this game.
That sounds so adorable.
It's incredible. It's adorable in name. It is vicious in nature.
It's true. Deceptive. It is. And Resonant trying to keep up this play. Can't give away a goal. Gale Force looking to get this answer out of the way quickly. Earlier on the match, the better. Gives himself more time to pull themselves into the lead. Panda, nice second touch there to Pashy. Pashy with control on the ground is a scary thing. As he throws that past the defender, no problem, says Pashy.
GFE, just take all of my yes. Look at that gameplay. Violent Panda takes it downfield by himself, and Pashy, he is no longer, we cannot turn around and say he is one of the best 1v1 players around, because he isn't. But unfortunately, he is probably one of the best clutch players. If you give him a split second to think of something, he tends to come up with the best answer.
3:30 left now. It is answered up. Gale Forest and Resonant both have a win in this series. The winner of this game will bring this to a match point. And that's a nice place to be. Shazette trying to be the one to bring his team there, looking up for those mistakes on defense. Shazette, a flick past one, but there's 3 defenders there, and a team like this shouldn't let it in. But as I say it, Shazette is able to squeeze by that defense of Resonant.
I'm going to bring this up a second time, and I'll be the last time I bring it up. Domino effect yet again. Dealing with one play, trying to not allow the backboard rebound, ends up just passing it straight out to an opponent. This is the thing with Rocket League. You have to find solutions to problems, and you have to find them very quickly.
Well, you're right. I mean, the current meta doesn't really allow for any kind of room off that backboard. You need to be up for that touch. The issue, if you get a bad touch, that's going straight out to your opponents anyways. Approaching that 2.5-minute mark. Gale Forest does sit up 1 goal in this game. Resonant looking to take that back right here. Waiting for a touch from Panda, but a missed touch from Magnus. We'll give it right back over to him. Drop from Panda out of the reach of Pashy. He'll back off instead. Boosted up is Resonant. We'll see if they can make our way downtown into Gale Force's end. They can, but can a goal come out? A chance here, no one in net. But not enough right touches there from Resonant. That'll be pushed away by GFE.
Yeah, GFE doing a very good job now of slowing down the pace. They are not allowing anything to come through. Great little slowdown there from Violent Panda. Just trying to force the 50-50, but unfortunately they've made a mistake here, and a lot can take this the entire way. Save from Chaussette.
Oh, Magnus just cranking one off the top bar there. That's going to drop off the roof. No one will be there to follow that one up. All 3 defenders for GFE. Good idea for Resonant to stay back from that one, but you don't want to give it the pressure, though. Look at Mets starting that boost grab. We'll see if that works out for them as they try to start starving GFE. A little bit of a play here in the box. Pashy force for that one. They will be able to get boost finally. That'll be GFE able to hold off a little bit longer on defense now that they are boosted up and ready to go. Here's their breakout chance. Chazette trying to get that to Pashy. Can't quite. It'll be a little bit too far ahead in the play. Resonant ready to turn that around, counter-attack, intercepted by Pashy as every single one of them rotate back. They get interfered in that play and make sure that Resonant has no chance to set anything up. Yeah,
and what you'll notice right now is GFE is doing a very good job of every single time they play it forward, there's no loose balls. Whenever Resonant wants to push this ball towards their opponent's end, as that's going to be a poor touch there, they have to try and challenge. And every time that happens, the ball slows down, allows that third player from GFE to come in and just clean it up, and they restart.
50 seconds left now. Resonant finds themselves at a spot where they're going to have to start putting a little bit more on offense here. Start taking those risky plays because they can't just sit and net the entire time when you're down a point. Gale Force just has to hold off. I say as it's going to be an easy thing. Resonant has every chance to be able to pull this one back. 30 seconds left. They need to start making some moves now. They're stuck still in their own end. Magnus and a lot ready to move up. There it is. You see a lot turned around instantly when he knows his teammate's about to get a touch. Magnus to the front. Panda will intercept a clear. That's all they need to do. Buy some time now. 10 seconds left. GFE will walk away with their second win in the series, putting themselves at match point. Unless a play can come out here. Risky spot. Ooh, if that rolled up the wall any bit, that could have been a goal for Resonant, but Gale Force will hold off. Bring this into a game 4 with themselves at match point.
Yeah, and this is very disciplined right now from Gale Force. They're getting themselves into the lead, and they're not forcing it. They know what they need to do. They know for a fact. Like, this is probably the team with probably the best challengers outside of Northern Gaming and Flipside Tactics, who are just phenomenal at pushing that ball into your end and keeping it. But they've definitely got a very close third onto that one. And yeah, it's the same thing over and over again. They've got a lot of saves there. I mean, we're seeing 3 from Pashy, 2 from Violent Panda, 1 for Chaussette, whilst on the other side, Resonant only have 1. So it kind of shows you where the pressure was. But at the end of the day, it's also kind of hard to say, wow, there was that moment Resonant almost took the lead, because whilst they had shots, none of them were really that dangerous.
Yeah, and this is something that's really a testament to, I guess just the broad spectrum of skills from Gale Force. I honestly think even if Resonant is to take this next game, Gale Force is going to come out in the series. I mean, you look at one point there, Pashy even had that little touch where he grounded it and he had control. He looked confident. He was able to get that shot in past that last defender. I think Panda was also doing that at one point. This team has the ability to slow the pace down and change it. And if they have to go into the last match adapting to a loss, I think they're going to come out on top. They can say, okay, we have control of this pitch.
Yeah.
What do we want to do?
Well, Resonant, they need to try and make sure that they get the first goal. That is the most important thing right now. I'm looking at you because you know what you just did. However, this is going to be the most important thing. I can't go for that pun. Well played, Leaf. Well played. You've put a cog in me. 10 seconds have gone by so far.
Time travel here. Resonant Esports sits down. A point in this series to Gale Force Esports. They're at match point. And match point is if they win one more, they win the series. Gale Force did just come off a loss. Their only loss so far in league play. We'll see if Resonant will take another one off of them. Gale Force still looking the strongest in the series, but off the bat, everything can change. No goals so far. Lot ready to move forward there. Shazette will be an easy clear for him. A touch towards the net as well. Magnus forced to save that one. What a power shot from the air. That's a scary thing for Resonant, knowing those shots can come out like that.
Yeah, and Chaussette's been really allowed to shine so far this season. Last season, he was on Red Eye, kind of got forced into a very heavy defensive role, especially against very strong rotating teams that would put a lot of offense onto his side. But this team, strong on defense all around. He doesn't have to be that solo defender, and that's really allowed him to show us other parts of this game, his gameplay.
Good touch there from Panda. Gets that one over to Pashy. The defender does block any chances for Pashy, though, cutting down those angles as a good defender would do. Stops that attack from GFE. Good passing plays at midfield there. Panda keeps this one low, trying to go for that dribble.
It was like a kick towards the end there, like a Bronco was about to drive the ball forwards. Violent Panda, he's been taking lessons from Pashy very clearly. Pashy's going to try and show him how it's done.
Animals on this field. Gale Force still don't have a goal, though. They're looking strong. But, I mean, that's really what matters. Ball in the back of the net, and a lot. He's trying to be the first one in this game to do that. Just off that crossbar. No teammate to fall that one off. A lot backing off. Was hoping there'd be a miss there, but this is GFE. They're not going to miss a touch like that. One defender, Panda, tried for a shot, a miss instead. Magnus, Mets have a chance to move down, but they don't look too formulated, but there's a lot for the cherry pick. Mets, the follow-up, a soft touch to that bottom corner, trying to pick off all these small spots on the net. Resonant have these bursts of great offensive power.
Yeah, but that shot was so powerful that the save ended up just clearing the ball into a defensively sound position, and this is not defensively sound at all. What is going on over here? Thankfully, there is no one there. Violent Panda used to be there, but he is over there and pretty much in little pieces across the field.
It might have been a case of over-trust of the teammates. Being sideways, maybe expecting someone behind you to take that clear, and then they're not. You kind of struggle to get in the way of a shot that you expect to come out from Resonant. Fortunately for them, though, no shot did come out. We still sit at 0-0 half. We're past that halfway mark. Shazette, a forward pass up to Violent Panda, tries to get that one right back into the hands of his teammate. Weren't able to connect. Magnus needs to play this carefully. Shazette had every chance to get this to Panda. He's ready in the box there to put one on target. Just lofts it up instead as Pashy moves in. Trying for a demo. Magnus jumps over that one as Mets will move this one down the other end of the field. Gale Force needs to start putting some structure into defense as an attack could have come out from Resonant. They do stop it off before anything really threatening comes out. Panda over top of one, not two though. Mets off the backboard, a lot already up with a drop down to a teammate, goes a little bit too far to the right.
Yeah, and as we run out of time here, we've got a minute and 15 seconds remaining. You really get the feeling that Resonant need to get this goal, because if Gale Force take it, they will turtle up again, and it'll be so difficult for Resonant to get through. Maybe not the same way, vice versa.
Magnus in a lot to move up here. As Pashy leaves out, he's like, I'm just gonna get this. I'm angry right now. We need to score. Minute left, as you mentioned before. Might end up hitting an overtime between these two. That's an even scarier spot for Resonant, as 1 goal will set them at a loss in the series. Shazette can't get control. Pashy will try to help him out. Good follow through from Magnus, gets that to a lot. A pass to nobody, Panda and Pashy now with control. Scary spot, 2-on-1 situation. Magnus and a lot do manage to rush back to the aid of Metsanaris there. Shazette just keeping some pressure on, just making sure Resonant can't break out of their own end. Just trying to find that one chance to get any kind of scoring opportunity in these last 15 seconds here, but still making sure that Resonant can't break out of their own end. One shot on Pashy with one final attempt here in front of the net. Will the third be up or will they wait back here? Panda is up for that one, beating out both those attackers.
Magnus got beat.
Scary spot for Resonant. That could be a shot. And Pashy will take it, as you said. Once those two defenders went up, it was over.
Magnus did not have a choice. He has to go for this because Violent Panda would have landed behind him and immediately gone for the bump. So he made the right decision, but he should never have been forced into that position whatsoever. Gale Force, I say it again, very disciplined, and they will take a win. We have now got a three-way tie at 4-1 at the top of the EU score leaderboards. But
look how close that was. But I do want to touch on your discipline point there. Gale Force, you're right. At the end, it looks so comfortable and so in control. They, as I was mentioning during the play, they had maybe 1 or 2 people up, cautiously trying to find that hole in Resonant's defense while still making sure that nothing passed that midfield line. And Resonant had really no chance of scoring. And at the end, they were forced 2 up into the air, and that's what caused their demise.
I love this. NA played yesterday, and EU watched it, and they were just like, oh, you think you guys have seen crazy? We'll show you crazy. Let's have a look at our leaderboards instead.
Well, speaking of the leaderboards and looking at them, Gibbs is good at that, so let's go over to him.
Thank you, Leaf and Shogun. Yeah, we're going to break down the standings in just a little bit here. Tosh, joined by Gibbs and Wavepunk. But let's talk about that match, guys. Gale Force with the loss to Flipside. We had a few questions. We're like, all right, Gale Force, what's going on? But it's Flipside. They're really good. And Gale Force able to turn around, bring it back, and take a nice victory in that best of 5.
Yeah, Pashy played really well this entire set. He was the difference maker. Violent Panda was performing pretty well during the Flipside set while Pashy was quiet. Now Pashy gets involved, and they get a much-needed win here.
Yeah, those plays from Pashy. There was the dribble play, I believe in game 2 or 3, and then the final just buzzer beater there at the end to put it away. But it all started back in game number 1. We saw Shawset there getting things started off towards the end of the game.
Yeah, Shawset, he started off really hot too. Like in game 1 is where he really played his best. Defensively, he had a lot of mistakes where it would lead to goals, and that was the theme of this, was as soon as you had a bad clear, both these teams can capitalize. So both were very cautious about how they would send people up, because usually clears were happening pretty effectively from both sides, but once in a while, they would slip up.
I think it's fun to talk about Shawset as a player. In Season 1, he was on Shoot and Goal, which was the team that finished with the worst record that we've ever had in RLCS. Then Season 2, he goes to Red Eye, a team that does much, much better, and now he's on Gale Force, the #1 team in the standings for EU. It's been really cool to see the way that he has just grown up as a player, and he was showing off in that first series, especially on offense.
Yeah, so now we have a 3-way tie at first. Now Resonant, they're still looking for that win. Penta is really happy because they need Resonant to basically lose everything for them to get in. So Penta's watching these games very closely, and Resonant, all the pressure's on them right now.
Yeah, I gotta say, honestly, from Resonant, a lot of people might not have been expecting much, perhaps, going up against Gale Force, seeing how strong they've been. But I thought they played well. They played it close. It's not like we saw any blowouts. I mean, that last game literally came down to the last goal at the final second. So let's talk about Resonant a little bit. What did you like about their play and expectations for them moving forward?
They had some pretty good pressure throughout, and again, they know how to capitalize on mistakes. Every time there's a defensive mistake, Magnus or Metz is right there to clean it up. They just need to keep doing that. They just have to find more passes, I think. Like more passes to create their own opportunities.
Yeah, and also just defensively tighten some things up, especially in game number 1. We saw some goals going in from just players just bumping onto each other in rotation and not kind of leaving open the goal. We saw Magnus go up for something and pass. He's like, okay, I'm just going to just play it underneath you. This is, you just went up too early, too easy to read. So defensively, I think they could tighten up, but offensively, it's still a very formidable squad.
Cool. We'll see how they do next week. But speaking of next week, we're about to show the standings here, and next week is becoming more and more interesting as so many teams so close in these standings where I feel like anything can happen. Thankfully, Gibbs is going to tell us every scenario right now.
Well, at least for now, it's actually pretty easy. We have a 3-way tie at 4-1. Northern Gaming, they still play twice today, so they can also finish at 4-1. And then, of course, we have Mocket, who has clinched, because they hold every tiebreaker over Penta. And then Resonant right now at 1-3, but they still have 3 games left. They basically just need one more win. Kauno's technically still alive as well, but they need a ton of help.
The top of that board is scaring me and giving me nightmares remembering last season when we had a 3-way tie for first place. Could happen again. It's crazy when it does. It'd be really crazy if it happened 2 seasons in a row.
And to be honest, the next 2 matches, gentlemen, Northern Gaming are playing. If they win 2, I'm not that good at math, but they'll be at 4-1. And I'm not that good at comparing numbers, but that would mean 4 teams would be tied at the top of the European region.
And this is why we only play 7 games. It's actually not because we want to see more games, but Axel can only actually count to 7.
Yeah.
So
Why
we
do you
decided
have
help
to
him
say
out.
that on the broadcast? That was between us.
Well, you took
Gibbs.
all the eggs. You counted more eggs there, so I think there's 8.
There's 8?
Yeah.
You're the one who just said it was hard to compare numbers when they were all exactly the same. So
It's true.
if anyone's throwing anybody under the bus right now, it's you.
All right, I think we need to take a break. You're watching twitch.tv/Rocket League. We got 2 more matches upcoming. Every single game incredibly important for these teams. Up next, we got Northern Gaming entering the pitch, going up against Resonant. We'll see if Resonant can bring it back after their loss to Gale Force. Stay tuned.